Hello there everybody and welcome to Map the Dragon Railways, and today in this video I have a micro layout update. So yes, progress has finally come along on this layout, and as you may be able to see in the background here it's had some pretty good progress. So let's get into what has happened. So the physically biggest part that's been done to this layout is the back scene. It's now fitted, it's got this nice blue. This is the second coat of paint it's gone through, as I found the previous coat, which was actually the coat I used for water originally, didn't match up well, so I got this Dulux paint. I forgot what it's called, but it looks nice, it does the job. The corners on the layout, a bit messy with the glue gun, just helping to hold it together, but it's okay. I'll probably find a way to try and hide most of that up. In fact, the other corner by around here, which you can probably see, I've started doing a tiny bit of that, but not too much. Next up, we have water. Now, as you know, in the previous video, I done water, and it was this nice colour. It's called nice, actually, but it wasn't too great. It wasn't very water-like. So I've opted with this new colour, which is more of a greeny blue colour, and it's much more close to images I've seen online of Bristol Harbour, and it looks very nice. So yeah, all the glue layers I spent ages doing to give the glossy finish had to come off, and this had to come, go right back down, and it's got a new layer on it now. And I've started layering up on the glue. I've done that, and I've even put some varnish on the top, so it really looks good, and that's that bit done. Of course I need to do the front, but that's awaiting me to do the concrete bit, which I'll talk about in a bit. Now, the second biggest thing that's been done to this layout is the shed. Yes, I have finally built my shed, and yeah, it's very, very nice. It was just some random pieces of wood that I had cut for me, and I used Wordsworth Model Railway online and got one of their free brick paper sheet prints, got them printed off, done the brick on it, and I also done the roof as well using their sort of free prints. Now, originally the shed was going to have two layers put to it, one with holes in, so it looked like it protruded out a little bit, but I never went with that, just for the sake of space for rolling stock and locomotives to run on the layout. I know it's only a tiny bit, only like a millimetre, but you know, space is a micro layout at the end of the day, and that space is important, really. And just as I'm filming right now, the paint is drying on the ventilators, which I have scratch built, so I'll talk to you about them now. So here you can see 3 ventilators. They're actually drying in place now as I speak. Now, these are simply cardboard modelled by hand, just using a blade and a ruler and all that. And yeah, this is what it turned out. I've made 3 prototypes. Here's the final one in my hand. Basically, it's a simple design with the slant that will go onto the roof quite nice and flush. And yeah, it's got this little raised section here. Now, you may be wondering what these little lines are that hold it up. It's actually sewing pins. I couldn't find any thing like paper clips, so I used these instead. Though, if you do this yourself, do try and find a method that might be good for you. So yeah, that's 3 made. I made them today as of filming, and yeah, I'm quite happy with them. They're now drying in place, like I said, painted them black, and they look nice. One little job on the shed that I nearly forgot to point out. If I zoom in the camera, now I know the focusing isn't brilliant, but here you can see I've done a bit of dry brushing on the top here, and that's just where exhaust fumes from steam and diesel locomotives have just, spewed out, and it's eventually weathered the brick. One thing I nearly forgot to mention is I'm going to be adding a door to this shed. Now, it most likely won't be functional, but it will just be made of cardboard, painted as a gas green, let's say, and it's going to just be stuck on the back scene, and that's that. Another little thing I've been doing, I've been painting up the final touches to the layout. I know this is still got a bit to go before it's finished, but I've been painting the crates, the barrels, and oil drums and all that, and loads of pallets, quite a few pallets actually, and I've at the moment got them scattered along the layout, even though I haven't got the concrete effect in, which will be air dry clay that I will get, and you'll probably see that in the next update where it's all been done. But I just thought I'd put them in and get a rough idea of what they look like, and I'm actually quite happy with how they turn out. So yeah, that's been quite a few evenings just with the paintbrush. It has got a bit boring now at this point, but I've basically done them all now. There's a couple more things like this I need to get, like I forgot what they're called, but the little bits that ships tie the ropes to, and yeah, I need to get them and paint them grey. But overall, I'm quite happy with these. So yes, the concrete, let's talk more in depth about that. So it'll be inset concrete, so the rails will only be showing up, there'll be no sleepers visible or anything. It's very much like real life. If you've ever been to places like Weymouth Harbour Railway, before they tore up the railway, you would see just rail heads sticking out from the concrete with a small little gap for the wheel flanges. And that's basically what I'm going for. It's exactly the same on Bristol Harbour, and it's like that to this day if you've ever seen it. If you typically search for a harbour railway, you'll probably see many photos of this. It's also done around engine sheds and workshops and all that. So basically it's quite a well-used sort of method in real life, but of course I got to replicate that on this. So what I'll do is get some air-dried clay. I know what brand, well, I can't remember the name of the brand, but I know what I'm getting. And I'll put it on, make sure I got all the flange gaps perfectly fine, go around the buffer stops and everything. And I won't go as far into the shed because that's more of a fiddle yard. That's where I load and unload my locomotives and rolling stock. It's a little sneaky little bit there. So yeah, that's the plan for the inset concrete. Another very tiny job, I've painted a buffer stop. That's all I really need to say about it. It's been painted, it used to be black, it's a standard Hornby one. It's been painted up, it looks better now. And it's currently fitted on the layout. Also, there's cranes. There's good news about the cranes. I was going to buy some dapple ones, going to buy about 2 or 3. I think 2 is the minimum number this layout needs. And the dapple ones are nice and cheap and cheerful, but they're not realistic to the Bristol Harbour cranes. Luckily, a company, which I found on eBay as well, luckily they have finally released the correct cranes in 00 gauge. I know they made them in N gauge, but they're now in 00. So I'm really happy about that. The problem is I'm not as happy about the price. These are now £40 each, so I've got to spend a minimum of £80 on cranes alone, which is quite steep. For a couple extra quid, I could have them fitted with motors, but I probably won't do that because the motors are quite low voltage and I don't really want to have too many electricals on this layout. Then I guess we're on to the final thing. This is quite quick, but I have been very busy on this layout. A Ford Anglia. A Oxford die-cast Ford Anglia. Now I was bought this. Now, probably don't know, but Roger Bay's already got one of these. So I might put it on Roger Bay, but I'm going to try and see if this will go on this layout. If I can, I'll be really happy. But if it can't, well, oh well, it'll go on Roger Bay. But if I can squeeze it in there, say like it's a worker's car, he's parked his car up in the way sort of thing, and that's that. So yeah, that's everything that's been done on the layout. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below what do you think, what sort of progress do you think I should get on with, what sort of tips, any advice for the layout, anything, just let me know. If you really enjoy this video, then go check out some other videos and do consider subscribing to the channel. Click that bell notification and you'll get notifications on every single video that I upload. Share this video with your friends and thank you for watching. See you next time.